Hello mga ka-learners! Teacher Angel here. Today, we will learn about computing profit and loss. People go into business because they have something to sell. They could either sell products or services that people need. In the process of selling, the entrepreneur makes profits. Making profits is an important part of doing business. If the business is not earning, it is doomed to fail. Doing business is not easy. A store owner, for example, must be able to perform the basic functions of a businessman: buying, financing, pricing, selling, and servicing. These involve constantly computing or solving number problems. These functions are not easy. An entrepreneur who lacks the ability to run a store may be facing trouble. Hundreds of businesses have closed because of failure to make a profit. After this lesson, you should be able to compute gross and net profits, define selling cost, operating cost, and owner's profits, and calculate losses. Mang Nilo wants to open a small sari-sari store. He has saved 10,000 pesos and plans to use it for the store. Mang Nilo spent 3,000 pesos to make shelves for groceries and paint a store sign. How much does he have left? The 10,000 pesos that Mang Nilo put into his business is called capital. A capital is the needed to start a business. The expenses needed to put up a business must be deducted from the capital. These are called capital expenses. Capital minus expenses equals remaining capital. 10,000 minus 3,000 equals 7,000. Mang Nilo has 7,000 pesos left. The 3,000 pesos worth of store equipment is now considered a property of the business. They are assets or what a business owns. Since this type of asset stays in one place and are usually not sold, it is called fixed assets. Using the 7,000 pesos he had left, Mang Nilo bought groceries to be sold in his sari-sari store. Since that money bought goods that become business's property, the groceries are also considered assets. But they can be sold anytime. These assets are called beginning inventory, the value of goods available for sale. This is also called the cost of goods for sale. Mang Nilo has 7,000 pesos worth of beginning inventory. The next thing that Mang Nilo needs to do is to determine the selling price of his goods. How are selling prices set? A businessman must set prices high enough to cover the different costs. There are three basic costs. Number one, operating costs. These include expenses like salaries of employees, rentals, insurance, light, and water payments. Operating costs are also called overhead costs. These are expenses that are needed before a business can run. Number two, selling costs. These includes expenses like delivery charges, transportation expenses, mail, and others. Number three, owner's profits. The owner must receive a profit from his business for personal use. This is a reward or payment for his efforts to keep the business going. These expenses must be computed or estimated and added to the cost of goods for sale to determine their selling price. This is called the mark-on or gross profit. Mark-on equals selling price minus cost. For example, if Carlo decides to sell the t-shirts he bought at 75 pesos each for 100 pesos, how much will the mark-on or profit be? Selling price equals 100 pesos. Cost of goods for sale equals 75 pesos. Mark-on equals selling price minus cost. So 100 minus 75 equals 25 pesos. Carlo has a mark-on or gross profit of 25 pesos for every t-shirt sold. will the whole 25 pesos go to him as his personal profit? No. Remember that there are 3 basic expenses that must be considered: the selling cost, operational cost, and owner's profit. Only after he has allotted an amount to cover the selling and operational costs can he take whatever's left as the owner's profit. How big should a mark-on be? What would happen if the selling price of a product is too high? What would happen if the selling price is too low? An entrepreneur must not set his selling prices too high. If he does, he might lose his customers to competitors, other businessmen who sell the same products. If his selling price are too low, he may only break even or even lose money. Thus, pricing and selling products are important to consider in managing a sari-sari store or any other business for that matter. How are profits computed? Gross profits refer to the total amount received from selling goods. If Mang Nilo was able to sell 700 pesos worth of goods for today, his gross profit would be 700. If Juan made 500 pesos in sales from his bake shop today, how much is his gross profit? If you answered 500 pesos, you got it right. But gross profits, like mark-ons, do not go all to the owner. The expenses incurred in selling goods must be deducted. The result would be the net profit. Net profit is the gross profit minus the expenses like cost of goods sold, selling, and operational costs. The remainder would be the net or owner's profit. Net profit equals gross profit minus expenses. For example, Katrina sells candies at school. Today, she was able to sell 200 pesos worth of candies. If she computed the actual cost of the candies she sold at 150 pesos and the selling and operational expenses at 25 pesos, how much is her net profit or owner's profit? Net profit equals gross profit minus expenses. So gross profit equals 250 pesos, expenses equals 150 pesos, or actual cost of goods sold, plus 25 pesos, or the selling and operating expenses equals 175 pesos. Net profit equals 250 pesos minus 175 pesos. So the net profit is equal to 75 pesos. Therefore, Katrina's net profit is 75 pesos. That can also be considered as the owner's profit because she can do whatever she likes with the amount. Is Katrina earning well from her small business? She is. She makes 75 pesos for every 250 pesos worth of goods sold. That's not bad. Computing for net profit is easy as long as you know how to apply the formula. A good businessman makes sure that he makes a profit every day. How big this profit is will depend on how much he has sold and his expenses. But how does one know if their business is losing money? Computing for losses uses the same formula as computing for profits. For example, Anna sells toys. Today, she was able to sell 600 pesos worth of toys. If she computed the actual cost of the toys she sold as 550 pesos and selling and operational expenses at 55 pesos, how much is her net profit or owner's profit? Net profit equals gross profit minus expenses. Gross profit equals 600 pesos. Expenses equals 550 pesos plus 55 equals 605 pesos. Net profit equals 600 pesos minus 605 pesos. So the net profit is negative 5 pesos. Did Anna make a net profit? No, she didn't. In fact, she is short of 5 pesos. This is considered a loss. How would you know if there were profits or losses? If there is a negative sign before the number, this means that there is a loss. This means that she has to raise 5 pesos just to break even. So what is breaking even? Breaking even means that there is no profit or a loss. For example, Jojo sold 400 pesos worth of t-shirts today. He computed the actual cost of the t-shirts he sold as 350 pesos and selling and operational expenses at 50 pesos. What is his net profit or owner's profit? Net profit equals gross profit minus expenses. Gross profit equals 400 pesos. Expenses equals 350 pesos plus 50 pesos equals 400. Net profit equals 400 minus 400. So the net profit is 0. Did Jojo break even? Yes, he did. A net profit of 0 is called breaking even. This means that no profits or losses have been incurred. Is Jojo's business doing well? No. Breaking even is not a sign that the business is doing well. A business should earn or make a profit. If this does not happen, the business is bound to fail. To summarize, getting a positive value or any value above 0 for the net profit tells you that there is a profit made. A negative value signifies loss. A 0 means breaking even. That's the end of our lesson on computing profits and losses. In the next lesson, we'll discuss balance sheets and income statements. So see you mga ka-learners!